What's up, guys? My name is Ben. I'm here with Third Shift Media. We have Gerard from Darkness Divided here.
How's it going?
Pretty good. It's hot, but
Yeah, it's pretty warm today.
yeah. So we have a bunch of questions as well as some fan submitted
Cool.
stuff. So, you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay. Well, first, how did the band start out?
The band started off a long time ago. It was me, my two brothers, and a couple buddies of ours. I was 16. My little brother was 13. We're just a bunch of high school kids trying to have fun and play some breakdowns. But yeah, I just started playing like in our garage and writing music. My brother kind of wrote most of the songs, and then we played our first show in 2010. And then eventually we graduated high school and went to college for a little bit. And in college we were like, let's make this thing happen because we didn't really like college. And we got signed in 2014 and just kind of started touring from then and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just ends up starting out in a garage.
Yeah.
So,
As you should, man.
yeah,
As you should.
all great things come from a garage.
Yeah, man. Especially nowadays, everything's kind of like, everyone does everything so around computers and everything.
Right.
So it's cool when you can get in and just jam something out for sure.
Right, definitely. Okay, well, that kind of opens up another question. Being that your brothers, would you say that it's easy being in a band together? Or tough?
Oh yeah, definitely. My youngest brother left the band in like 2015 to start his own band. It's called Charcoal Tongue now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And then my other brother's still in the band, and we've, it kind of, touring in general kind of makes you grow stronger with your family. At least it did for my family, just because when you go home, you're like bummed because it's like you're not on the road, but also good because you get to spend time with family. And then you're gone, you miss your family, you miss your friends, you miss your loved ones. So it kind of makes those moments stronger each way you go. And lucky for me, I have Joe pretty much all the time.
Right.
We hang out a bunch and stuff. And so it's been really cool for the two of us to experience traveling and new places together for the first time and stuff, as well as all the other guys in the band and stuff too. Sebastian's been in the band for 3.5 years now, so just to go to a bunch of our, like, these new on tours and stuff, going to new places, and like went to Germany for the first time last year and stuff, and things that we never thought would happen.
Right.
And it's cool to experience it with people that you care about for sure.
Yeah, having someone like related to you and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually been my entire news feed because Warped Tour just ended. I think it was yesterday,
Yeah.
actually, was the last day. My entire news feed is... I'm happy that it's over, but it kind of bummed I'm going home, vice
Yeah.
versa.
No, yeah, you definitely, especially on, a tour like that, or any tour really, you get close to the band, you get close to that lifestyle and that environment. And it's like stressful at times, and it gets kind of crazy, but then you go home and you're like, man, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah,
Sure.
you end up meeting bands that you probably would never tour with otherwise, unless it was the
Sure.
Warped Tour
Yeah.
or any other festival.
Yeah,
like,
we've never done anything like that, so I imagine that's what it's like, but I was just speaking from, like, our
Right.
experience, Or even when you do play a festival or something,
Right.
you meet a band that, like, oh, we haven't gotten to tour with each other yet, but we're playing the show, and
Yeah.
you're hanging out. It's like, I'll see you. And you
Yeah.
end up seeing them down
Yeah.
the road, yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
So do you have any weird, crazy, scary tour stories?
I guess one of the craziest things that ever happened to us is we used to have a Sprinter van, a big red one. We called it Clifford, and one tour we were doing, it started in it was like Virginia or New Jersey or something like that. And as we were driving, it was like 2 a.m, and we were going like 70 something miles an hour, and the bolts on our wheels
Mm-hmm.
basically broke because they were over torqued. And so as I'm driving 70 miles up this mountain, both of our wheels in the back fall off.
I kind of figured that's where it was.
Yeah. And so we're just kind of like grinding like Tony Hawk, like up this mountain. And luckily we had a bunch of gear in the back because it could have easily just flipped off
Right,
and
definitely.
be a completely different story. But then at that point we were just like, well, what do we do, you know? So the first 10 days of that tour till we got back to Texas, we're in rental cars, and it was crazy, like different experience, because it's just like, and we only put like each one in one band member's name because it's more expensive to have it in other people's names, and we didn't want to cancel any shows. So I had one car, my brother had the other car, and we both had to drive literally the whole entire time. So that was pretty crazy. And then we got home, borrowed my mom's or my dad's Tahoe, and finished the rest of the tour. So an experience for sure, but we only had to cancel one show, so that was good.
Yeah, you do what you gotta.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a fan submitted one. Being that you guys are, well, like a Christian metal band, your views on faith.
Sure.
Like, what are your views? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a Christian household, and that's been a big influence my whole entire life.
Right.
But I believe that just because you're raised that way, or you're raised anyway, really, you kind of have to go through life and experiences and, you know, read and learn and to really develop a belief system.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot about, like, God and Jesus and the Bible, but it wasn't real to me until I had moments where I realized that someone was watching over me,
Right.
someone was there for me.
You kind of have to have that epiphany, I guess you would.
Right, yeah.
say.
It's just kind of like, it's like you can learn about anything. You can learn about any religion. You can learn about the Lord of the Rings or anything like that.
Yeah.
You can read about it, you can understand it, you can know it, but until, you know, you see that it's real, until something happens in your life and you can accept it, then it's like, oh dang, you know. And that's like, that happened to me at an early age when I was like 15 years old. And so that changed my whole life, you know, as silly as it sounds, being 15 or whatever. But you know, I had a very much different outlook on life. I used to be very like depressed and stuff, and you know, and turning around, I was able to accept that love and then share it with my family and my friends. And yeah, ever since then, it's been something that I've felt has been super important in my life, and I like to share it with other people organically. You know, I'm not trying to make anyone believe a certain thing or
don't like shove it down.
no. Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone comes from different places. Everyone has their things and stuff, but that's something that's been very important to me and something I believe in.
Right.
So that's kind of where it comes across as a band and as music and stuff, because I believe if you believe something and you're passionate about it, it should overcome everything you do in life. It doesn't matter if you're playing music or, you know, I work at State Farm, you know, anything like that. You know, it should be able to see that in someone. You know, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm not always like that, but I do my best to be like that. So that's kind of where my faith comes into play.
Do you guys have any new material in the works?
Yeah, we've got some plans to do some stuff soon. That's kind of what we took a lot of time off this summer to start writing our album, and we've written a few songs that we feel are some of our best material. And after we are done with this little week run thing, we're gonna go home and write some more. No like tentative plans on releasing or anything like that, but we do have something cool that we are doing. I can't really tell you about it, but something a little bit different than what we've ever done as a band. So I'm pretty excited. So you'll hear about that in the next couple months and stuff. It's something we did in January that's just now coming to life in the next couple months. So we'll be posting about it and stuff more.
Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this or not.
Sure.
Why did Joseph cut his hair?
Well, Joe's actually, a long time ago, Me, Joe, and Chris, my brothers, we all had really long hair. I had really long hair. I'll show you a picture, actually. It's pretty funny. My college ID, I looked like one of those really fluffy poodle dog things.
Oh my
Here you go.
God. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, you can show them if you want. Yeah, so that's how long my hair used to be. And I had the shortest hair out of all three of us. So we used to all just have a bunch of long hair. And yeah, we cut it off. Joe and Chris had long enough hair to donate, though.
Oh, okay.
And so fast forward, I never wanted to grow out my hair again because I didn't like the way it looked in retrospect. And Joe did, and so he grew it out kind of differently, but his intention always was to eventually donate it again. So I think he was able to donate like 15 or 16 inches of it. It was really long. It was like over 20 inches.
My mom does that.
Cool.
For breast cancer. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. I mean, I think he donated to Pantene. Pantene has one. Because the first time he did it with Locks of Love. But now Locks of Love started to charge people for the wigs, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Pantene does it completely free as a donation. So I got to cut the hair, though. That was the cool part. So we went to, around where I work is a haircut place. And they put it in a couple chungos. And just cut it off. Nice. So I got to be the one that cut it. So that was cool.
Out of anywhere in the world now, since you guys have gone international, where would you say is your favorite place to play?
Oh, man, that's a tough one because, like Albuquerque, you know, like, great place for us, right. Something we look forward to. But, you know, like, you can still go somewhere and maybe the turnouts aren't as good, but it's still fun.
Right.
But I guess some of our favorite places to play, our hometown for sure, San Antonio. Right. Albuquerque's awesome. Nashville's awesome. We had a really good time in Germany. That was awesome. Both days we played there were really great. But honestly, it's more about, for us, like, as long as the people in the room are stoked. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room. Like, and that's just an honest thing. Like, last night we played a show. There's probably like 20 people there. And still cool because everyone at the show was stoked, you know. And it's like, we'll take that over playing, you know. We've played some shows where a couple hundred people are there. And they're just like waiting for the next band to come on, like not stoked at all. It's like, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
So it's
like,
honestly
it shouldn't matter. You still should have fun with it.
Yeah, it's honestly the people that make the show. So anywhere where people want to have fun, right. It's cool with me.
As long as you're ready to throw down.
Yeah, as long as you're ready to have fun, man. Yeah. That's cool.
I guess it doesn't have to be music specifically, but who are your influences as far as the band?
My influences as far as the band, you know, back when I was getting into metal music, I used to not like metal music at all. And then, like, I was really big in, like, Yellow Card, Reliant K, and I still am and stuff, but, like, As I Lay Dying, The Devil Wears Prada, August Burns Red, Haste the Day, Plea for Purging, were a bunch of bands that my brothers would listen to, and we used to have this TV station, it used to be called KTV, and they would do a metal segment, and that's how me and my brothers found out about metal bands. And then same thing with Headbangers Ball, we'd see, you know, all sorts of stuff on Headbangers Ball.
Flashback.
Yeah.
Headbangers Ball. Wasn't there another one? There was another one that was like, I think it was like similar to that, I'm pretty sure. And I think MTV ran it too. But
I used to just watch Headbangers Ball. That's kind of how you found out about music back in the day, you know, because that was in MySpace days. You know, you could find out a band on MySpace too, but TV and the radio and our radio stations are super sick in San Antonio. But yeah, so any band that would come on there that we could dig that was like kind of like the metalcore vein of things, like we ran with those bands. We went and saw them live and stuff, and luckily we've gotten to play with a bunch of those bands too over the years. So Under Oath, you know, another great band. Yeah, I'd say that was a big part of getting me into metal music in general. And nowadays, like, I guess when it comes to writing and stuff, like, yeah, you write a riff, and you kind of almost don't want it to sound like anyone else. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, you have an influence, something like, oh, this sounds like something off an As Lay Dying CD,
Yeah.
or this sounds like something off, like our guitar player's favorite band's like Pantera, so it's like a lot of his solos like, oh, that sounds like a Pantera solo, you know, and it's like, well, that's cool, you know, but you also like, you want to make it like, oh,
Yeah.
your own thing, you know.
I don't want it to sound like, I want it to...
Right, yeah, you want it to be like organic. You want to write something that's like, yeah, this is our music and stuff.
Yeah, As I Lay Dying was actually like one of my first metal bands I think I got into. I think that's same for a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, no, they were a great band.
Yeah. What is a favorite tour that you've done?
Well, I got two. Last year we went on tour with Woven War, which is basically as a you know, the same guys.
And, it's
Shane Blay from Mo Sleeper, and Soilwork, Battlecross, and Unearth.
I was so happy for you guys.
Dude, it was a sick tour. Everyone on that tour was super cool to hang out with. Like, you know, Soilwork and Unearth. Soilwork's been a band longer than I've been alive, you know. And Unearth is close to that, you know. Like, and we went in there first couple days. They were already inviting us to come hang out, and on that tour I grilled a lot, and we played a lot of cornhole, and the Battlecross guys, even from like setting up merch beside them, were like some of the sweetest dudes. Which you listen to their music, it's like, you know, crazy, it's awesome, and then you like hang out with them, they're a bunch of goofballs, like they're awesome guys. And same thing with Wovenmore, man. We hung out with everyone on that tour, was great. And then to follow up that tour, besides like Germany and stuff, Unearth had us come out again and play some Canada shows. Them and Fit for an Autopsy and Exalt.
Yeah.
And that was the only tour we've done this year, in between the writing and stuff. And Unearth is just a great band, great dudes. Like, for them to bring us out again was just like super awesome. And you know, they're a band that works hard and goes out there and tours a bunch, you know, and it's like they're 20 years old still, man. They go out there and crush it every day. You know, you have a set where you feel tired or whatever, and then Unearth plays and you're like, okay, what excuse do I have, man? These guys are rocking, and they play, you know, they play a long set, and it's always awesome. So good couple tours for sure.
Okay, so we have another fan submitted one. Do you make music to fit the lyrics or vice versa?
That's kind of like an interesting question, which is a good question. This last album was the first time we ever really let the lyrics play a factor on some of the songs. Because usually we go in there, and you know, the same thing for the last album too. We went in there, you write the song without melodies, without words or anything like that. And then what I do, I write all the lyrics pretty much. So I'll just, whenever I feel inspired, I write lyrics, you know, and I just have a bunch of lyrics for random things. And then last album was really cool because it was like a concept album. And so I was able to take my lyrics and we put the songs like in order of feel, and then we put the lyrics in order of like the progression of the theme. So that was really awesome. I love how that came out. Obviously now, you know, there's some times when I'm like, well, that lyric could have fit better over here or whatever, but no, I feel like that was a good representation of like how the lyrics could play a role in the album. Because usually, like our first album, like all the songs are about different things, so it didn't matter what lyrics went to which song. Right. It was just like they're going, you know, that's how it works. But that last album, and it was kind of hard to do, you know, it was like kind of like, but I think this lyric goes better over here, and we spent a lot of time ordering the album out before we even like put the lyrics in there and making sure that they fit well together and stuff. And it was kind of, and the tricky part about it, probably the hardest / worst part about it for me was we recorded 2 songs completely, Misery and The End of It All, and they were done. The lyrics were already set for them. Everything was good to go. And then we were like, how do we fit these two already complete songs into the album where it makes sense with the theme and the feel of the album?
But you don't want anything to be out of place.
Right, yeah. So that was kind of the hardest part. But we made it happen and made it work. I think it came out really well. That's why I haven't even began to put lyrics to any of the songs we've written for the new album, just because I'm like, I'm going to wait till the album's done and then we'll do it, because I feel like I think it's the best way. If you really want to write something with like a theme or whatever, you're going to want to hear the songs first before you throw them in there, and that'll affect the order of the album.
Make sure the lyrics fit and they actually flow.
Right,
the song.
And the songs want to go in a way that makes the album listenable.
Exactly.
And so you don't want to make them all scatterbrained and stuff, but
confuse everyone.
Okay.
This is another fan submitted. Is it hard to maintain your faith surrounded by a music scene that's mostly secular?
I don't think so. Like, it's kind of weird because I get asked that question, and every band we've ever toured with has been super cool about our beliefs and the way we act and things we do on stage. The curve of that question is most of the time, not most of the time, some of the time, some of the people that are so hard on us and the way we talk or do things are people who claim Christianity. They're like, hey man, like, this is how I believe and this is how you believe, and it's kind of different, and it's like, yeah, like, you're gonna have a different interpretation sometimes, but I'm not judging on you, you don't have to judge on me, type of thing. And we actually wrote a song on our last album called Deceiver, that's about Christians or anyone really who's got a belief system that's going to, not really spreading the love that we're supposed to be called to spread. And it's like, you're doing all of that in vain, like, yeah, sure, if you're nitpicking and stuff like that, you're gonna turn people away, when really you want people to see, what you see and the good things about it and stuff. So it's kind of like, I think that's kind of the harsh reality about this kind of music and stuff, and the things that you do.
That's like saying you shouldn't be doing it this way because.
Right. It's been many years since someone who doesn't believe in God has, cussed at us or done something like that, where it's been, maybe a few months since someone who claims Christ has been like on our case about something, which is weird, but that's just kind of how it is.
You're gonna run into it basically anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah,
so
basically.
And our final question is, again, fan submitted. How does the scene in San Antonio compare to other music scenes?
That's a good question too. San Antonio's home. We have some of our greatest shows ever been there, and then obviously starting off as a band, when we started playing there in 2010, we used to play like almost every weekend, and a lot of time it was pretty rough,
Yeah.
But you develop a fan base, you develop friends, and and I feel like our scene has always shown up, and they're really active, and I a lot of what I do at home too is I'll book shows at home and stuff, and I see it. I see when a new band comes into the scene, and it's cool. It's almost like you're adding a family member and stuff, and I think San Antonio is pretty accepting of that. It goes through its waves, like we lost one of our biggest home venue a couple years ago, and so the scene kind of was like affected by that, just because the normal hangout place was gone. Like, where do you go for shows? And so we were kind of trying to find our new home. And, we kind of bounced around a few venues, and some shows are better than other ones, at different places. But actually, when we come home, it hasn't been announced yet, but we're going to play a pretty cool home show in the next month. And it's in remembering the venue that was shut down and stuff. And last year they did this, like, reunion show, and it was really awesome, and we wanted to play it, but we couldn't play it, and now we're going to get to play it again. And it's cool that people hold on to those days of when, you know, and they're not afraid to still come out to shows and stuff. So San Antonio is a great scene, man. I love it. I'll tell everyone that. Happy to be from San Antonio. I feel like Texas in general actually is great places to play all around Texas, and you could play 15 shows in Texas.
Don't get me wrong, I love it here, but being that I've gone to a few music festivals in Texas, I think one was in Dallas and one was in Austin, you know, everyone was just super welcoming. And actually, the one that I went to in Austin, you guys played, I think it was 2 years ago. It was at Empire Control Room, I think.
Oh, okay. Do you remember who played that one?
It was a bunch of bands. It was a festival.
Okay.
It was a 2-day thing.
I like Austin, man. Austin's cool too. San Antonio's obviously better, but but Austin's cool. We have a good time there. My really good friend Anthony Stevenson books all those fests, and he gave us our first shot ever in Austin like 5 years ago, and he's always taking care of us there. We're gonna play there on the Convictions tour as well.
Nice.
So good guy, good scene. He's done a lot of hard work to make Austin a good market to go to.
Well, that's all I got. I want to thank you for letting me interview you.
Thanks for interviewing me,
You can pick up Darkness Divides self-titled album anywhere digitally. Isn't it?
Much,
it's in stores too.
I don't think so, man. Yeah, ever since Hastings closed down. Rest in peace.
Maybe FYE, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it through anyone's website pretty much. Yeah, thank you.